If you haven't heard about Lake X in Central Florida, well, don't be surprised. Lake X is a 1,400 acre that was purchased in the 1950s by Mercury Marine and was used until recently to R&D and keep their newest motors top secret. Lake X has only been fished a limited number of times, and anglers continue to go fish it when they're invited only. It's as close to an unfished lake as one can find these days, and there is no doubt about that. It is pristine as ever. In recent years, Mercury Marine has moved its operations from Lake X, and now the fishing on Lake X has been left in the great hands of the Kenneth Kirchman Foundation, a charitable organization whose purpose is to educate the public, especially children, about Florida's ecology and wildlife. Fishing Florida Radio's webisodes are brought to you by Mosquito Creek Outdoors, your gateway to the outdoors. Hells Bay Boatworks, makers of the world's finest flat skiffs. Tackle Webs, clear your deck for battle. Mudhole, rod building and tackle supplies. Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. We had the opportunity to go out there this week.
Yes. Thanks to, I get a phone call from Neal Lazarus,
Is this
our
how
good
this
friend.
Yes.
And he says, all right, I got an invite. Would you like to come? And he said, you can bring Steve. I said, well, okay, that sounds all right. And we kind of brought it up, right? Last time at Gumbo Palooza.
Yes, we had said.
So I mentioned it to Steve, and sure enough, Steve all of a sudden says, I challenge you to a fish-off.
How long did it take Steve to...
Not a friendly, this is Fishing Florida Radio. We can't have a friendly day, nice day out there, enjoy the environment. Look at this wonderful place, a slice of heaven. What, they call 100 years back in Florida. They're keeping it just like that. They manage all the, they do the burns correctly. They manage the property to pristine. There's deer and turkey everywhere.
Everywhere.
So Steve, all of a sudden, instead of having a nice fruitful day of friendship, fellowship, and
I'm not here to hold your hand.
He throws down the gauntlet. Hey, I challenge you.
The Rocky fight scene.
It's like a big.
Yes.
It's like a brother. You gotta have.
The competitive juices of Steve Chapman came out immediately.
Yeah.
So I instantly said, look, let's do this right. If we're gonna do this, let's go out there and put it down.
And
throw
I'm scared
down.
of a challenge.
No.
I'm not scared of a challenge. Oh no. So of course I put my A game together. You know what? I said, all right. And right away I recruited Neal.
Yes.
He's fished out there before. Plus he gave us the invite, so I'm in.
Yep.
And then of course, the next call was to our friend, the Wikipedia of B.A.S S.
The Wikipedia B.A.S S.
Ken Duke.
Who knows more about bass fishing than anyone should know.
He knows more about bass fishing than Bass do. He knows every technique that's ever been developed. He's written so many different books. He's the senior editor for B.A.S S Publications.
Yes.
He knows every classic that's ever been won, who won it, how he won it. So I'm like,
what color underwear they were wearing?
Yeah, what bait they used, what was the temperature, what was the the dew points. I mean, he knows everything. So
there was Team Mike.
Boom. Knowledge, experience, scratch both those off the list. Team Mike developed.
I go a whole different route, Les.
Mike's early favorite here.
Early favorite. I decide, you want to know what? If I'm going to go out there, I want somebody that can fish. Neal and Ken might know a lot about fishing. I want someone that can fish and not just make 5 or 6 casts and have to sit their asses down. I want someone that's going to be able to fish all day, unstoppable. Who do I go with? I go with Team UCF. They're from the Real Knights. Kyle and Hunter.
And they're sponsored by Mudhole.
And their sponsor does help. They're sponsored by Mudhole.
All right.
And the MHX rods, blanks that they did put out. So we got out there yesterday way early. We left Apopka at 5 o'clock, and we all met up there. 6:30, 7 o'clock. Gates locked. We got walked in. But we thought, you want to know what we thought?
So wait. The game plan is we're going to
Yes.
go out, we're going to fish for a certain amount of time, and then later we're going to meet with the guys from Kirchman, have a round table and stuff. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our aggregate 5 bass, the bag together with all the guys fishing.
Yes.
And we're going to weigh them out. And that's who's going to win, right?
Whoever has the most weight wins.
Seems simple enough.
It can't get any simpler.
No.
The UCF,
Not enough.
guys have any knowledge of like?
No,
Never been on it.
no. So you're still going with Mike's team as winning.
Right.
Not a bad idea.
But that's not good enough for us. This is Fishing Florida Radio, right, Steve?
Yeah, we don't just do stuff half-ass.
So what do we do?
We decide, you want to know what? Let's bring somebody in who is even better than us. And thank you, Les. That's what we were saying. Someone who has been on the Elite Series for years, who's been to the Classic, who's going to the Classic this year. Who do we bring in, Mike?
We brought in Bobby Lane. Big Fish Bobby Lane.
Big Fish Bobby Lane.
That's how we do it here in Fishing Florida Radio.
God.
So we brought
Elite
in,
angler.
we figured out, you know what? We might need a little help. Our teams are going to have to handle us. So we brought in Big Fish Bobby Lane to give us a little bonus. So he fished and changed out per hour. And so, it helped our bags out, let's just say, a little bit.
So we went out there, put our boats in, and we took off. Mike went one way. Team Mike went
south.
one way, and we went
They
the
went
other
north,
way.
so we decided to go south.
Did the camera boat go?
The camera boat was Mike on one, and
helicopters.
Mike was I was on the other. And we went and fished for 4 hours. Got our five best fish.
Yeah, we got into school fish right away, and we had a good time with that.
Yes,
I mean,
you
there
did.
was plenty of fish. Now, what were you casting? What were you guys casting?
We
was a
were
beautiful
casting
cast.
something like a Sabile Magic
I mean,
Swimmer.
that was a beautiful cast.
It wasn't a Magic
As soon
Swimmer,
as you
but it was
cast it,
close
like,
to
if
it.
that doesn't become
I
something-
the
I went through
problem.
wrong
a
with
whole
that
plethora of
little area.
Sabiles, but I ended up with a flat shad that looked like that
I
worked
left
for
my
me.
tackle bag. Here was the issue. I left my tackle bag on Neal's boat, and they didn't bring it back to me.
No. We
Those
almost
cads.
Neil almost threw it in the water.
That's a nice little pass.
Nice little fish. We got a little clip of the video
Yep.
there.
Yeah,
For you, I did a little taunting for you.
Yes, thank you for taunting.
That was our second spot, so it was pretty early on. So it was good.
And we did
Nice
something different.
fish,
We
man.
started
Team
off
Mike,
and instantly
baby. Team
started
Mike, take
throwing.
that shit. That's it.
I threw spinnerbait to start off with,
Sabile
and
flat
then
shad.
the boys were throwing
Right there, baby.
worms, and we quickly. I could see how Hunter and Kyle are going to succeed in the bass industry because they quickly found out what we wanted to use, and then they found exact points on where we needed to fish. And really, some of it came from me because I actually said, "Hey guys, I don't know if you're realizing this, but we're catching all the fish on points." And from then on, the ass whooping happened. Now, mind you, we have big bass Bobby Lane out there, elite angler.
Right.
Didn't catch as much fish as us. Not even close. Team Chapman. We have Rich out there who's a Bassmaster who won the Toho tournament and is going to be going to the Bassmaster Classic this week.
That's right.
He runs into schoolie fish and catches 4-pounder after 4-pounder after 4-pounder.
Wore them out.
There's
There's a lot of fish in that lake.
Lot of fish.
It's fantastic to fish there.
Team Chapman still.
A lot of Kissimmee grass. It was kind of neat being able to go around the whole lake because if you notice, every shoreline seemed to have a little bit of a different
way of fishing.
A different one. The eastern shoreline had a lot of Kissimmee grass.
Yep.
To the south, it was lily pads. To the north, it was a little bit deeper edge to it. So it was pretty neat to see all different ones.
So we brought our fish out, our 5 fish, which had a 7.5 and a couple 5s in there.
That's yep.
And we weighed in 22:38, and then Mike and Neal and their group brought out their bag, and they weighed in 21:22.
Little bonus, little Bobby Lane help.
Yeah.
Then they opened up their bag and jumped out half the water they had in the bag. And Team Chapman Team Steve destroyed everyone. Take that!
Applause. Where's the applause?
The problem is there's so many bass out there.
Right.
There's a lot of smaller bass, and so you got to kind of weed through them or get lucky that you pop into you get in front of the right fish. You know what I mean?
And Rich House, who's going to the Classic, actually found a school of fish where he caught 30 or 40 in a row casts.
Sure.
And Bobby got into a school and caught 20-something.
In a row.
They were all, couple pounders.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of, we didn't find those schools. We found that if you found the Kissimmee grass if you pitched the baits on the Kissimmee grass and swam them onto the top of the water, that you were going to get crushed as you made those. If you hit those points,
You were patterning the fish more than finding the schools.
The other 3 teams all found schools, and if we would have found a school, we would have stuck them out and did it and fished them. That's what we would have done. We didn't find a school. We had a couple times where we saw some shad, and the bass start annihilating shad, but it was so fast, and we were going the opposite direction, that we just were like, okay, you want to know what? Let's keep doing what we're doing. We're doing well because the 7.5 pounder, we knew we had big fish.
Well, that's why y'all did better because the schools are usually similar sized fish, and that's what they were fishing.
We were
y'all were picking off the bigger fish, patterning.
Yes,
we were literally in a spot where for 45 minutes there were bass just flying out of the air, hitting bait all over the place. We were just, it was one of those things that either, go out. Obviously, we're not fighting for a check, but to go out, we were like, let's just have fun and catch a bunch of fish. These fish are literally doing somersaults out of the water, exploding. It was awesome.
And really, if you haven't heard about Lake X, well, I don't know where the hell you've been, but it is quite possibly the best, the best bass fishing I've ever seen in terms of, there are 4 boats, and I bet you between the 4 boats in 4 hours, there might have been 100, 150 fish caught, maybe more.
Sounds like there was more.
Now you can imagine, you've got this 1,400-acre lake, just unbelievable, by yourself.
Pristine.
You don't have any jet skiers. You don't have anybody wakeboarding anywhere. It's just you and the wildlife.
Lake X.
My team.
X Factor.
That's it.